Namaskar. Myself, Dr. Isnaq Mishra, Department of Sociology and Social Work, Bharati Vishwavidyalaya, Durg, Chhattisgarh, welcomes you all in today's lecture of research methodology. Today we will discuss on this topic of types of case study method. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about the case study methods concept and its main characteristics. Now, we will discuss today on its main two types in which we are studying the specific issue or specific cases in case study method, whichever is appropriate with its characteristics and its specific feature. So this type of cases we can use to study in case study method, a special kind of cases. So first we will discuss it in English and then we will discuss also it in Hindi. There are mainly two types of case study method. So already we have discussed about that what is the case study method. We have discussed that it has a wholesome study of any social event or particular group or particular individual person. We can take a person, we can take a group, or we can take a community, but whichever part we have taken from the social system, social structure, we will study that part very intensively and minutely. That is the major approach of the case study method, that it is a deep and minute study and wholesome study. Okay, it is a complete study from the beginning to the end, from the ancient time which the cases emerged from its very beginning, from the very start of its scratches, and to the present status in which we are counting in its present time, its present status, its present scenario, and the existence of its present time in continuous form. So we will study with this kind of approach in case study method of any kind of person or individual figure which is highly appreciated in society or in a related field of the social structure or any political, scientific or business figure. We can take any kind of person which is or we can also take a single individual, general people which is not highly appreciated by any group or any society, but it is just a common man which is maybe he is a labor or maybe he is just a primary school teacher or just a clerk. But when we study case study method, but we are trying to analyze his life from the very beginning to the end, or if we are trying to study the community or a small group of people, so we will study that group or that community from the beginning to the present status or present existence of that community or that group. So this kind of approach in which we are studying the complete scenario of that topic, and also we study very deeply and minutely and very intensively, so we can gather all the aspects of it, the knowledge about and the information about all the aspects of that particular topic which we want to study with the case study method. So it is all inclusive study. Okay. Let's discuss about its kinds. So, I have pointed here the two main types of case study method which we have already discussed. That it has a study of individual. So, this is the first type, and the second major type is a study of group or community. Study of a particular group or community, or some groups, some small groups, maybe 2 or 3 groups are involved in that group of few small groups, and or a particular community. We have studied before and we have discussed before that the concept of social group and social community. So again we are remembering those concepts, that what is the social group. Okay, social group is a gathering of people which are interrelated with meaningful social interactions, with the common general objectives of daily life. Okay, try to understand. Again, in social groups, people are gathered, but their gathering is with the social interaction, the meaningful social interaction between those peoples, and the social interaction is because of daily life's general objectives and general works. They are not want to reach to the average, or they are not want to make government, or they are not want to revolution on society. No, they have not such kind of specific objectives or specific aims within their minds and within their deeds, but rather than they are combined, working together to fulfill their daily life's objectives, aims and works which are related to their lives, day by day life. Okay, such as livelihood, such as reading, such as working together for some purposes, some general purposes, shelter, food, clothes, like this. Okay, so we have discussed that the social group is a group of individuals which are interrelated and interconnected with this meaningful social interactions. Okay, and that meaningful social interactions are directed towards the daily life general objectives or aims or works. Okay, so I think you have now understand totally the concept of social groups. Now we will discuss on the concept of community, social community. The communities are always social. If there is some kind of community, it will be social. There is no other way for the existence of community. The community is always social. So again, try to recall in your memory what is the social community, what is the concept of community. We have said that we have understood that the community is a gathering of people, a group of people which is living in a particular geographical area, a particular geographical area. The number of the group of people, the number of people living in a particular geographical area, and they are interconnected, interrelated and involved in the social interactions, but they are having the community feeling, the we feeling. Okay, the we feeling, the community feeling for each other. They are bounded with the we feeling, the community feeling. So, in that manner, the community feeling, the we feeling is, and then the community, the we is more important than I. Okay, the welfare of the community, the success of the community is more important than my own personal success, my own personal aims, my own personal gains, my own personal interest, my needs, my greed, my fulfillment. Okay, so it is secondary. My whole aims, my whole mental deeds, my whole mental structures, demands, and my conditions are secondary in front of the community's welfare, in front of the community's achievements, in front of the community's deeds and their life and their surviving. My own surviving is secondary and the community surviving is the primary. This is the community feeling. And the community is bounded with this kind of community feeling. So, if this kind of community feeling is enhanced, is spread with the area, like a whole nation or a whole state or whole continent, geographical continent, then it is possible to call it a whole continent, or we can call the whole world a community. If the community feeling is evolved with that state, that level. But it is difficult. Generally, in sociology and sociophy, we say that community's ideal example is village or a small town. Why? Because to feel empathy for the peoples which you are not knowing. In your life, you have never come across them. So, feeling empathy and sympathy and attachment and certain kind of affection towards the people which you never met and which you never come across. It is a little more difficult for a general mentality of people, general kind of people, which their vision may not evolve at that higher stage. So, in general, it is difficult for the people to feel the community feeling for whole world or for whole continent or for a whole nation. It is difficult. We brought up our children in the community feeling conditioning. Okay? We put over in their heads the community feeling, particularly with the government's strategy and policies of nation. So, nation's love, nation's attachments. So we try to evolve our children that the nation's welfare is more important than your and our personal life. The individual life is less important, and the nation's welfare and the nation's surviving is more important. So we should sacrifice our personal life for our nation's welfare and for our nation's survival. If there is a condition to choose between our own personal surviving or our nation's surviving, so we have to choose, we must choose the nation's surviving, because nation is first and the individual's life, individual's their personal aims and their personal likes, dislikes, and the individual's whole life is secondary in front of the nation's welfare and in front of the nation's survival. individual comfort, his every effort and his every likes and dislikes and his whole life is secondary in front of the nation's survival and nation's pride and nation's respectability. When there is the situation of danger of that in any condition over national's pride and national's integrity and security, then one must sacrifice everything to retain nation's pride and nation's security and nation's survival and nation's welfare. It is asked for every individual. So where is the nation? We have approximately 200 nations all over in this small earth, and every nation's follower is carrying the conditioning of the nation's interest, the nation's welfare, the nation's love. And we obey it like our primary duty because it is conditional, and for nation's survival it is necessary. Because what is the nation? Nation is a social community. It is an example of social community and nothing more than that. Okay. So you have again understood the concept of social community. So nation may be the example of social community, a village may be the example of social community, a district may be the example of social community, maybe the state, maybe the whole continent, maybe the whole world. Our ancient philosophy and our ancient vision to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that this whole earth is a one family, one integrity. So we have the vision of whole world as a community. So this is the basic of community and community feeling. It is very important for individual's life also, for your life and my life also. How far our community feeling is lightening, or it is just confined with my own ambitious self-interest, my own ambitions, my own dreams are overpowering my community feeling. It may be such kind of case, and it may be the case with many people around the earth, that our own personal interest is overwhelming our community feeling. It is suppressing our community feeling. It is suppressing our affection and quality of integrity and love with the peoples like us. There are many kinds of psychosocial things related with it. Okay, we will discuss on this topic later on. We will discussing that what are the types of case study method. So we have discussed that in individual cases, in this kind of case study method, we have to study the complete study of a person's, of an individual's from birth till now or his death. Maybe certain conditions applicable, and the study is from every possible source. The primary data, the secondary data, the persons which is related directly to this to that particular individual, the persons which are related secondarily, their secondary relationship, their colleagues, their which may aware of him or her. So these kinds of secondary relations of that particular person. The secondary data sources, just like his diary, just like the data of our institution, or maybe of a record of any kind of record of his education place or his job place, or maybe some article or maybe some news related to him in any kinds of newspaper or any kinds of magazine or anything. So from every possible sources you try to collect the data and the information about this person which we want to study, the individual, from the beginning to the end. And we have already discussed that it is not necessary that person should be of a higher class or a higher fame or a renowned figure, eminent figure. It is not necessary. Maybe the person is just a clerk in some small office. Maybe just the person maybe is just a beggar. We can case study of a beggar. We can case study of a labor. We can case study of just a student studying in somewhere, some institute. So it is not necessary for case study in the individual cases, in this kind of case study method. In this type, we can take anyone for our case study, which is fulfilling our demands, our objectives, which we want to know from the studying that person, which we want to know about the society and that aspects of society, which social fact we want to reveal by studying that particular person, the case study of that particular person. So in this manner we have to study that person's life from the beginning till now or till his death. Okay. The next we have already discussed that what is the social group or what is the social community is, and we can study that particular social group or that particular social community is wholesome study from the emergence of that community or that group till now, till his present status or till his present existence. Okay. We can take a small part of or a particular way or particular issue of that group or that community, or particular part of that group or that community. Okay, or particular incident which is happening in that community or that group. That particular part wholesome study. That particular incidents wholesome study, or that particular issues wholesome study. We can perform it in our case study method, which is related to community or social groups. Okay. So these are the major two kinds of case study method which we have discussed. Now we will discuss also in Hindi. तो हमने अध्ययन किया आज किस प्रकार से जो है व्यक्तिगत अध्ययन पद्धति के प्रकार होते हैं। पहला प्रकार हमने देखा कि इसमें हम किसी व्यक्ति का, किसी एक व्यक्ति का अध्ययन कर सकते हैं। जब हमें अध्ययन करना हो किसी एक व्यक्ति का, तो जिस भी उद्देश्य को लेकर के हम जिस भी समाज के उस पक्ष को उजागर करने का या सामाजिक वास्तविकता को, जिसे हम सोशल फैक्ट, सामाजिक तथ्य कहते हैं, जिस भी सामाजिक तथ्य को उजागर करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, समाज के जिस भी पक्ष से संबंधित उस उद्देश्य को लेकर के हमने उस पर्सन का चयन किया। वो कोई आम व्यक्ति भी हो सकता है, वो कोई खास व्यक्ति भी हो सकता है, वो कोई अधिकारी भी हो सकता है, वो कोई छात्र भी हो सकता है, वो कोई क्लर्क भी हो सकता है, वो कोई पियून भी हो सकता है, वो कोई मजदूर भी हो सकता है, वो कोई गृहिणी भी हो सकती है, एनीवन ऑफ दैम, कुछ भी हो सकता है। तो हमें किसी समाज के पक्ष को, किसी समाज की वास्तविकता को उजागर करने के लिए केस स्टडी मेथड को चुना है किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडिविजुअल को, किसी पर्टिकुलर व्यक्ति को लेकर, तो हम उस व्यक्ति का गहन एवं संपूर्ण अध्ययन करेंगे। प्राइमरी डाटा मिले, सेकेंडरी डाटा मिले, जो भी स्रोत मिले, जहाँ से भी उसके बारे में जानकारी मिल सकती है, जहाँ वो पढ़ा, जिनके बीच वो उठता बैठता है, जिनके साथ वो जी रहा है, जो उसके पड़ोसी हैं, जो उसके मित्र हैं, जो उसके परिजन हैं, उन सबसे जानकारी प्राप्त करेंगे। जो उसके बारे में अभिलेख हैं, शासकीय अभिलेख हैं, अशासकीय अभिलेख हैं, कहीं पत्र पत्रिकाओं में उसने कुछ छपवाया है या उसके बारे में कुछ छपा है, कहीं उसने अपनी पर्सनल डायरी में कुछ अपने बारे में विवरण दिया है, उन सब संभव स्रोतों के द्वारा हम व्यक्ति का अध्ययन करने का प्रयास करते हैं उस व्यक्ति का जिसको कि हमने चुना है अपने अध्ययन के उद्देश्यों की पूर्ति के लिए। चलिए आगे देखते हैं। अब हमें किसी मान लीजिए समूह का या समुदाय का अध्ययन करना है केस स्टडी मेथड के अंतर्गत। तो जब हम समूह या समुदाय का अध्ययन करना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ समझने वाली बात यह है कि हम जान चुके हैं, हम अभी भी चर्चा भी कर चुके हैं काफ़ी विस्तार से कि सामाजिक समूह का कंसेप्ट क्या होता है या सामाजिक समुदाय की अवधारणा क्या होती है, कंसेप्ट क्या होता है। ठीक है, ज़्यादा डिटेल में उसमें हम न जाए, काफ़ी चर्चा उसमें हो चुकी है। अब हम देख रहे हैं कि हम इसका केस स्टडी मेथड में उपयोग कैसे कर सकते हैं, व्यक्तिगत अध्ययन पद्धति में किसी समूह या समुदाय का अध्ययन कैसे कर सकते हैं। तो पूरा अध्ययन कर सकते हैं, या तो कि पूरा अध्ययन, पूरा जब से वो समूह अस्तित्व में आया या वो समुदाय अस्तित्व में आया, वहां से लेकर के आज तक का प्रेजेंट स्टेटस तक, अभी की वस्तु स्थिति तक का अध्ययन कर सकते हैं। या कोई घटना अगर उस समुदाय या समूह में घटती है, या समूह या समुदाय का कोई भाग है जिसका हम अध्ययन करना चाहते हैं, या कोई मुद्दा है जिसका हम अध्ययन करना चाहते हैं, तो हम किसी मुद्दे को ले सकते हैं, हम समूह या समुदाय किसी भाग को ले सकते हैं, हम समूह या समुदाय से संबंधित किसी घटना का भी केस स्टडी मेथड के अंतर्गत गहन एवं संपूर्ण उस घटना का, उस पक्ष का गहन एवं संपूर्ण अध्ययन कर सकते हैं। आशा करता हूँ आप समझ रहे हैं इन चीज़ों को। तो इसे कहते हैं हम समूह या समुदाय का व्यक्तिगत अध्ययन। इसमें किसी पक्ष को या पूरे समूह या पूरे समुदाय को उजागर किया जाता है, हर पक्ष को लेकर गहन एवं संपूर्ण अध्ययन। किसी एक आयाम का भी हो सकता है ये गहन एवं संपूर्ण अध्ययन पूरी तरह से, या संपूर्ण समूह या समुदाय का भी हो सकता है, उसकी शुरुआत से लेकर अंत तक के, या शुरुआत से लेकर वास्तविक स्थिति में यदि वो मौजूद है तो वहां तक। तो ये हमने चर्चा की प्रकार केस स्टडी मेथड। आशा करता हूँ आपको समझ में आया होगा।